Welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're opening up a file that on the surface, it just looks like a simple update vlog.
Right.
It's a video from a guy named Daniel Greene. Now, if you are deep in the world of, fantasy, literature, sci-fi, or just the whole YouTube book community, what people call booktube.
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly who this. He is, you could argue he's the face of that entire.
He really is. He's sort of the Walter Cronkite of dragons and spaceships.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. He is a staple. But the reason we're doing a full deep dive on this isn't because he, reviewed a new Brandon Sanderson book.
Yeah.
We aren't here to debate the magic system and Mistborn or anything like that.
No.
We are here because Daniel Greene recently put out a video outlining this massive strategic shift in how he runs his entire content. And frankly, it is a fascinating case study in the current state of the creator economy.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you want to understand the pressures that are facing digital artists, especially in the mid-2020s, this update video is basically a primary source document.
Right.
It covers everything. It's got algorithmic capture, audience segmentation, the burnout crisis.
The burnout, yeah.
And that core tension between making art and making content.
That distinction is just huge, art versus content. And Greene seems to be right in the middle of that battlefield.
He's living it.
Yeah. And we're going to unpack this whole update where he essentially redraws the map of his entire career. He talks about launching a second channel with a very, let's just say
Unshoveled Goblin.
Unshoveled Goblin. I love it. We're also going to talk about his absolute refusal to join the TikTok-style shorts revolution.
Which is a bold move right now.
Or very contrarian stance, yeah. And we're going to talk about a mysterious project involving, of all people, Agatha Christie, and an editor named Ben that might just change how we think about.
But the core mission here, I think, the so what for you list is really about sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
We see creators burn out every single day. They hit a wall, they just vanish, or worse, they become these hollow shells of themselves, just churning out whatever the machine wants.
Yeah, just feeding the algorithm.
Exactly. And Daniel Greene is trying to engineer a way out of that trap. He's building an escape hatch.
He's trying to have his cake and eat it too, or maybe a better way to put it is he's trying to have his algorithm-friendly dives and his weird naked skit.
And we will get to the naked skits. I promise
we
you.
definitely will. But let's set the stage first. This isn't just about a guy changing his upload schedule. This is about a creator looking at the landscape of 2026 and saying, I cannot keep doing this the old way.
The old way is broken. Or at least it's breaking him.
Right. So let's dive into section 1, the tale of two channels, or as I've dubbed it in my note, the strategy of segmentation.
This is really the foundational piece of his whole new strategy. For years, for a decade, the advice to YouTubers was niche down.
Niche down, yeah.
You have one channel, you do one thing, and you feed the algorithm exactly what it expects every single time. If you're the fantasy news guy, you do fantasy news, period.
And God forbid you try to upload a vlog about your cat.
Exactly. The algorithm gets confused, your views absolutely tank, and your whole channel suffers for it. It sees that one weird video and thinks, oh, people don't like this channel anymore.
It's the stay in your lane mentality cranked up to 11.
Precise. But what Greene is doing here is, it's so interesting. He's acknowledging that he's a human being with more than one interest, but he knows the machine, the algorithm, can't handle that complexity on a single feed.
So he splits himself in two.
He formalizes a split. He introduces this new channel, Unshoveled Goblin.
I love saying an unshoveled goblin. It sounds like a D&D monster that's been left in the basement.
It's evocative, for sure.
But Greene describes the vibe of this channel he uses the word a familiar, older, comfortable style.
And that word familiar, doing a lot.
Yeah.
If you remember the early days of YouTube, I'm talking 2010, 2011,
yeah.
The platform had a completely different texture.
Oh, totally.
It wasn't about 4K cameras and perfectly lit studios and, B-roll footage. It was about connection. It was parasocial in the truest sense of the word. Just a person talking to a lens in a messy room.
The bedroom vlogger era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think Greene is tapping into a very specific nostalgia there. As production values on these main channels have skyrocketed, they become almost like Netflix documentary. There's a real hunger, I think, for that raw, unpolished authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that 3 reviews have already gone out on this new channel recently.
On the list of topics he's covering there, it's wild. It's totally eclectic.
It's all over the place.
He mentions new Dresden Files, fairly standard fan house, but then he throws in a sci-fi classic called Space Merchant.
From the 50s.
And a new release called Operation Bounce House.
You see, The Space Merchants is a perfect example of why this split is so necessary. That is a brilliant satirical sci-fi novel from 1952. It's all about advertising advertising and consumerism.
Right, way ahead of its time.
But it is niche. It is the definition of niche. If he drops a video about a 70-year-old satire on his main channel, which has hundreds of thousands of subscribers expecting the latest Game of Thrones news, what do you think happens?
The click-through rate just dies.
It plummets. Nobody clicks. And because nobody clicks, the algorithm says, oh, Daniel Greene's channel is losing relevance.
It's a punishment.
It's a punishment.
Yeah.
It stops recommending his next video, even if that next video is a total banger about something super popular. It's a contamination of...
So unshoveled Goblin acts like a quarantine zone for his...
In a way, yes, but a positive one. I'd call it a sanctuary. And he admits this explicitly. He says, quote, it's not where I get my bread and butter. It's not paying the bill.
Which is such a flex, honestly, to be at a point in your career where you can say, I am going to make content that I know will not make money just because I want.
It's the literal definition of a passion project. But it's more than that. It's also a mental health strategy.
How so?
He calls it a sanctuary from algorithm stuff. Just think about the psychological weight of that phrase.
Yeah.
Every single time a major creator hits publish on their main channel, they're staring at that analytics dashboard.
Yeah, watching the real-time views.
Is the line going up? Is the audience retention holding at 60%? It's incredibly high-pressure performance art.
Yeah.
On the Goblin channel. It doesn't matter.
He says it allows for the, quote, pure expression of thoughts and opinions without that performance anxiety. He can just let my audience enjoy.
And notice the distinction in that phrasing. My audience. He's not talking about the algorithm. He's not talking about new viewers. He's talking about the core diehards, the people who like Daniel Greene, the person, not just Daniel Greene, the fantasy news anchor.
So he's segmenting his fan base. The casuals stay on the main channel for the big, shiny videos.
And the diehards follow him over to the Goblin channel for the comfy old school chats.
But it's not just about reviewing old books. This is where we get to the wild and weird factor.
Yes.
He says this second channel is also a home for skits and oddity, the stuff that would just completely flop on the main.
The out-of-pocket content, as he puts it.
He gives this specific example that I swear it actually made me laugh out loud when I was watching his update. He has a video titled, Please, Dear God, Don't Be a Bomb.
Which, frankly, is a great title. I'd click that in a heartbeat.
I would too. But then he adds the kicker. He says, I'm basically naked in that video.
Right. And this brings us right back to the concept of brand safety.
Oh, 100%. Can you imagine if that video, the naked bomb video, autoplayed right after a serious scholarly analysis of Tolkien's use of language?
It would be disaster, tonal whiplash. And you have to remember, advertisers pay a premium for predictability. They want to know their ad is running next to safe, smart book talk.
Right.
They do not necessarily want their ad running next to Naked Guy Hoping Package Isn't Explosive.
That is a very valid point.
So by moving the naked content to the Goblin channel, he protects the premium status of his main brand. But, and this is so crucial, he still gets to make the video.
He doesn't have to kill the idea.
He doesn't have to suppress that side of him. So many creators they push that weirdness down. They think, oh, I can't do that weird skit. It won't sell. It'll lose the audience. And that suppression leads to boredom, leads directly to burnout.
So the Goblin channel is a pressure release valve.
Greene is building a sandbox where he can still play, where he can be messy and weird and not worry about breaking his main, very valuable toy.
It's like having a dedicated room in your house just for smashing. You don't do it in the dining room during a dinner party, but you still need to smash the plateware.
That is a vivid analogy, but yes, that's exactly it. It's about channeling creative energy into the appropriate vessel.
So we have the Goblin channel for the raw, the weird, and the naked. That leaves the main. If the Goblin channel is the messy bed, what is the main channel? That brings us to section 2, the main channel philosophy.
This is where Greene is pivoting toward what I would call prestige content. He's going premium.
He defines the main channel content very clearly now. He says it's for deep dives into single topics and mega summaries.
Mega summaries. I love that branding. It's so good.
It's perfect. And he lists examples, the history of fantasy art, the eras of fantasy, the 7 levels of sci-fi. Just hearing those titles, you know these aren't 5-minute reaction videos he's filming on his phone.
No. Not at all. These are video essays. These are mini documentaries. And let's really look at the economics of this. Why is he shifting the main channel to this heavy research, long-form content?
Well, he says they take more time and more effort, but he also points out the pragmatic side of it. Greene admits these videos play a lot better to YouTube's algorithm.
Now, let's unpack that statement, because just a minute ago we said the algorithm likes consistency and frequency, but the algorithm has changed a lot in the last few years. It used to be all about click. Now it's about session time and audience retention.
Can you explain that for the listener who isn't, a full-time YouTube strategist?
Sure. At the end of the day, YouTube wants you to stay on YouTube. That's their business.
Keep you watching.
Keep you watching so they can serve you more ads. So If Daniel Greene makes a 45-minute documentary about the history of fantasy art and a viewer watches 30 minutes of it, that is a massive glowing signal to YouTube. That is 30 minutes of attention they can sell ads against.
Okay.
Now, compare that to a 4-minute vlog where the average viewer drops off after 90 seconds. The deep dive is infinitely more valuable to the platform.
So by making longer, better videos, he's actually feeding the machine exactly what it wants, even if he uploads less often.
Precisely. It's the classic quality over quantity pivot, but it is risky. It's a high-wire act.
Why risky?
It means every single video has to be a hit. You can't just phone one in. If you're only uploading once or twice a month and one of those is a dud, that's a huge chunk of your potential revenue gone.
That's a lot of pressure.
A ton. But here's where Greene zigs, where literally everyone else is zagging. Usually, when we talk about what the algorithm wants in 2026, we're talking about one thing.
Shorts.
We're talking about TikToks. We're talking about Reels. We're talking about those 60-second vertical video dopamine hits.
The vertical video revolution. It has completely eaten the internet.
It has. But Daniel Greene, he hates it. Or at the very least, he refuses to do it. He discusses this massive industry trend towards shorts, and he says he staunchly refuses to let the push for shorts sway him.
Staunchly refuses. I mean, that's strong language. He's drawing a moral line in the sand there.
He is.
He says he doesn't feel short form is, quote, conducive to my style of talking about.
And I think he's 100% right. Can you really explain the nuance of a complex magic system or the character arc of a 1,000-page novel in 59 seconds?
I have seen people try it. It usually involves a lot of pointing at text on the screen while dancing to trending audio clip.
Which is fine. It works for some people, and it's a real skill. Greene is actually very diplomatic here. He clarifies he means no disrespect to short-form creators. He just says, it's just not what I enjoy doing. But let's be real here. From a pure business perspective, this is a dangerous move.
You really think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
YouTube is pushing short so aggressively. They are handing out monetization bonuses. They're boosting channels in the algorithm that use short. By refusing to participate, Greene is essentially fighting with one hand tied behind his back.
So what's his bet then?
He is betting that his long-form content is so good, so valuable, that he doesn't need the cheap traffic that you get from short.
It's a luxury brand strategy, isn't it? It's like Ferrari doesn't make commercials for the Super Bowl. They don't need to. They rely on exclusivity and high performance.
That's a great way to put it.
Greene is saying, I am the Ferrari of BookTube. I don't do 15-second clips.
It's a complete rejection of the fast food content model.
Yeah.
He's not trying to get you in and out. He's doubling down on the fine dining experience. And that brings us to the menu he's planning for this fine dining restaurant. Section 3, the mega projects and expanding horizons.
This is the part of his update that got me really excited. He talks about the evolution of his summary video. For a long time, he would summaries where he'd break up down one video per book.
Which makes sense from a content perspective. You know, a 5-book series becomes 5 uploads. More videos, more chances for views.
Right. But he says he tested the waters, and he's realized that doesn't work as well anymore. He wants them to be single, giant videos per
mega summary.
And he dropped some big names. He's going to finish the Red Rising one mega.
Whoa. Red Rising is huge. It's incredibly dense. It's violent. It's political sci-fi. A summary of that entire saga. I mean, we're talking about a movie-length video here. 2, maybe 3 hours.
Easily. And he's also doing Book of the New Sun, which is notoriously difficult, complex. It's very literary sci-fi. He's doing that as one giant video, too.
He references his Mistborn video as the prototype for this format. And if you haven't seen that, you should go look it up. It is comprehensive. It's the kind of video you put on while you're folding laundry for 2 hours, and you just get lost in it.
But why combine them? I mean, why not get 5 or 6 videos out of the Red Rising? Why put all your eggs in one basket?
It goes back to value and utility. If I'm a fan of Red Rising and the next book in the series is coming out and I need a refresher, do I want to hunt down 6 different 10-minute videos and hope I get them in the right order and that I don't miss anything?
No, that's a pain.
It's a pain. Or do I want one definitive time-stamped resource that I can just click on? The mega summary becomes an asset. It becomes the Wikipedia page of video. It's a destination.
So it'll get views for years.
For years. It's evergreen content in the truest sense. News dies in 24 hours. A mega summary lives forever.
He's also expanding his horizons beyond just summaries. He mentions a specific author deep dive he's working on, Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Oh, this is a fantastic choice. A brilliant choice.
Greene calls him the quiet king of sci-fi.
That is the absolute perfect description. Tchaikovsky is prolific. I mean, the man writes like a machine, and his ideas are just mind-bending. You have spiders evolving in space. You have octopuses building civilizations. But he's not a celebrity in the way that, say, a George R.R. Martin.
So Greene using his platform to spotlight him is significant.
It is. This is Greene stepping into the role of curator. He's a tastemaker. He's using his massive platform to say, hey, all of you, pay attention to this guy over here. It's an act of leadership in the genre.
And he says, these are the alternative videos that will populate the main channel. High effort, educational, and like you said, guiding the taste of the community.
But then he goes even further.
Yeah, this is where we get to the Soul Project.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that really touched me. He's not just sticking to sci-fi and fantasy anymore. He excitedly brings up his plan to cover The Count of Monte Cristo.
The ultimate revenge story. A classic.
And you can just feel his passion for it. Greene says the book pulls at my soul. He says, holy, do I want to do a lot more than a typical review for this book?
You can hear the emotion in that. This isn't about what gets views. This isn't about chasing trends. This is about an artist connecting with a piece of art and wanting to share that connection.
But it's a risk. I mean, it's 19th century French literature. It's not exactly the hottest new release on TikTok.
But that's the beauty of this prestige strategy. If you build enough trust with your audience over the years, they will follow you anywhere.
Even to 19th century France.
Even there. And he's trying to make these non-genre things fun, too. He talks about this Agatha Christie experiment he had.
Yes. The Mystery Solve It Along With Me video. I love this idea.
It's a brilliant format. So he's going to read the book, but he'll pause at key moments and try to deduce who the killer is, inviting the audience to play detective right along with him.
It turns reading into a game show. It makes it interactive.
Totally. And he gives a massive shout out here to his editor, Ben.
We have to talk.
We do.
He says whenever you see a video on his channel with above and beyond editing, Ben, and he predicts this Agatha Christie video might be the most fun video of the year, specifically because of that collaborative, high-effort edit.
This really highlights the shift from YouTuber to production house. Daniel Greene isn't just a guy in a chair with a webcam anymore. He's a host. He's a writer. And he's working with a professional editor to craft a multimedia experience.
Right.
The editor becomes the co-author of the video. Ben isn't just cutting out the ums and ahs. He's building the visual language of the mystery. He's adding graphics, sound cues, all of it.
So, okay, let's recap. We've got the Goblin channel for the raw stuff, the old school reviews, the weird skits. Then we've got the main channel for the mega summaries, the author deep dives, and the soul prod. But we have to talk about the thing he is very deliberately stepping away from. And that brings us to section 4, the burnout and the burden of...
For me, this was the heaviest part of the entire update.
For years, Daniel Greene's catchphrase, his literal opening line for so many videos, fantasy news, it must flow.
It was iconic. It's what he was known for. He was the CNN of the fantasy world. Every week, like clockwork, you knew you were getting a news update.
But in this new update video, he asked the question, hell is it? And he answers himself. Quite frankly, I don't.
That is the sound of a man who has hit the wall hard.
He describes the news cycle as draining. He says that stepping away from it, even for a little while, felt like a weight off my chest.
Let's really analyze the psychology of being the news guy. To be a news creator, you have to be plugged in 24/7.
All the time.
You are doom-scrolling Twitter, you're refreshing Reddit, you're reading press releases, you are constantly absorbing information, and a lot of that information is negative show cancellations, book delays, online controversies, angry fan bases.
It's what psychologists call vicarious trauma in journalism, isn't it? Experiencing the world's stress secondhand.
To a lesser degree, yes. It's information overload, and the pressure is immense. If a big story breaks at 5 p.m. on a Friday, you can't just go to dinner with your family.
No, you got to film.
You have to film. Because if you don't, someone else will, and you lose the views, you lose the relevance. It is a hamster wheel that never, ever stops spinning.
And Greene admits that doing that every week became sustainable. He says plugging into the news constantly was more draining than I thought it was.
It's insidious. It creeps up on you. You think, oh, I'm just staying informed. But suddenly, your entire mood, your entire week is dictated by the news cycle. You lose your autonomy.
So is fantasy news dead on his...
He clarifies that it isn't dead, but it's changed. He says he wants to continue, but he needs to figure out a new approach that doesn't destroy his mental health.
He says, please bear with me. He's asking for patience from his audience. He says it won't be the exact same format and probably not as regular.
And you know, he is breaking the contract with his audience. And that is a scary thing for a creator to do.
What do you mean by the contract?
The implicit agreement. The audience expects news on Friday. That's the deal. If you stop giving them news on Friday, they might leave. They might find another news source.
But he explicitly says, this is all just stuff that's selfish.
I really want to challenge that word selfish. He uses it almost like an apology. But in the context of creator burnout, setting a boundary like this isn't selfish, it's survival. If he doesn't stop the weekly news grind, he might burn out completely and quit YouTube entirely. Then nobody gets any videos. So preserving his own mental health is actually the most generous thing he can do for his audience because it keeps him in the game for the long haul.
It's the put your own oxygen mask on first rule, but for content creation.
Precisely. He is choosing longevity over consistency And that's a choice more creators need to feel empowered to make.
Okay, so he's segmenting his creative content, he's upgrading his main channel to be more prestige, and he's stepping back from the news grind to save it. There is one final boundary he sets, and it's arguably the most volatile one of all.
Ah, yes.
Section 5, compartmentalizing controversy.
About what?
He brings up the final segmentation of his online presence, and he talks about what he calls yell at people content.
Which, let's be honest, is a very popular and lucrative genre on the internet. Rage bait.
It is. And he says if you want to see him get angry about politics, he has recently been doing that, but on Instagram.
That's a very interesting platform choice. Instagram stories, specifically, are ephemeral. They disappear after 24 hours. It's a place for venting, not for creating a permanent archive of your hot takes.
Exactly. He describes it as yell at people content, but, and this is the key, promises not to force that in anybody here on.
This is the final crucial piece of the clean main channel strategy. We talked about how naked skits are unsafe for the main brand from an advertiser's perspective. Well, political rants are 1,000 times less safe.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in the current climate.
Right. If you have a channel that is fundamentally about escaping into fantasy worlds, and suddenly you upload a 20-minute video screaming about a specific real-world policy, you are shattering, breaking the immersion.
And you're instantly alienating at least half your audience who just wanted to hear about the Wheel of Time.
You are. So by keeping the anger siloed on Instagram, he allows the people who want to see that side of him, who agree with him politically, to opt in and find it.
While keeping the YouTube channel a neutral ground, a safe space for everyone, regardless of their politics.
It allows him to be a whole person, which is what this is all about. Humans are complex. We like vintage sci-fi novels, we make silly jokes in our underwear, and we have strong political opinions. But the algorithm, the machine, it hates complexity.
It wants you to be one thing.
One easily marketable thing. So Greene has taken his personality and sorted it into digital folders. Folder A, professional, polished deep dives, that's the main channel. Folder B, silly, raw, passion projects, that's the Goblin channel.
And folder C, angry, political, ephemeral, that's Instagram.
It's compartmentalization as a business strategy.
And as a sanity strategy, it means he doesn't have to suppress his anger or his political feelings. He has a healthy outlet for them. But he doesn't let that anger contaminate his main.
It's incredibly smart. It feels like he's finally taking control of the machine instead of letting the machine control him, which is the story of so many creators' careers.
That is the theme of this entire update, isn't it?
Agency.
Agency. So let's wrap this all up. We've looked at the two channels, the stance on shorts, the mega projects, the burden of the news, and the politics. What is the big final takeaway here? Time for the outro.
I think the big takeaway is that Daniel Greene is providing a roadmap for what I would call the mature creator.
What does that look like? What does a mature creator do?
When you start on YouTube, you are desperate, you are hungry, you chase every view, you jump on every trend, you film at 2 a.m., you burn the candle at both ends because you're terrified it will all disappear tomorrow.
Right, you're in survival mode.
Complete survival mode. Greene has been doing this for years. He has established himself, he has a foundation, and now he is looking at the next decade of his career and asking, how do I make this sustainable?
He's playing the long game.
He's playing the long game, and he is betting on his own enjoyment. He's realizing that if he hates the process of making the content, eventually the content will suck. The audience will feel it.
The burnout will show on screen.
It always does. So he's refusing to do shorts because he hates. He's stepping back from news because it drains him. And he's making mega summaries and videos about 19th century novels because he finds them creatively fulfilling.
It's a bet that true, structural authenticity, not just, talking to a camera without makeup, is more valuable in the long run than short-term algorithmic optimization.
And it's a bet that the audience is smarter and has a longer attention span than we give them credit for. We are constantly being told by media analysts that attention spans are dead, that everyone has TikTok brain and can't focus on anything for more than 60 seconds. Daniel Greene is betting his entire career that people are actually starving for depth.
That they want to watch 3-hour video about Red Rising.
That they crave it. And that brings me to a final thought for you, our listener, to sort of mull over. In a world that is pushing relentlessly for 60-second clip, Daniel Greene is betting on mega summer and hour-long deep dives.
A total contrarian.
So is the future of media actually longer and deeper rather than shorter and faster? And maybe a bigger question, does segmenting yourself across different channels like he's doing actually lead to more authentic content overall? Because each piece of you has a proper home.
That's a hopeful thought, isn't it? That maybe the future of media isn't just faster and shorter. Maybe it's longer, deeper, and ultimately more human.
I certainly hope so, because I know I'd much rather watch a soul project about the Count of Monte Cristo than another 15-second dance trend.
Amen to that. Well, this has been a really fascinating look under the hood of a top-tier creator who's making some big moves. I'm definitely going to be watching out for that video. I want to see if Ben, the editor, can really make me feel like Poirot.
And I'll be waiting for that Red Rising mega summary. I could really use a refresher before the next book drops.
Thanks for unpacking all of this with us. It's a great reminder that behind every channel, every brand, there's a human being just trying to figure out how to stay sane in this wild next